What your clients want in 2025, the market trends that you need to know about. Hi, my name's Liz Stanford and I am one half of Baba Business.
And I am Anna LaGrange, the other half of Baba Business, the Birth and Baby Business Academy. So we're talking about
Exciting.
market trends.
It's very exciting to start thinking about what is it that your client wants and needs this year. And I think before we really, and this isn't what this podcast is about, but before we get into that, just a reminder for everyone listening that before you start trying to work out what your client wants and needs and what their offer is, you need to understand your ideal client. So making sure that you've done that work before you start looking at trends and creating offers for people. Otherwise, they're not going to align, they're not going to match up. But we do have other podcasts all about the ideal client. But we really wanted to focus on what we can see as being important in 2025, what the research says as well, and what the evidence is. I don't know, do you want to go first, Anna, with that?
Yeah, I mean, just talking generally, we sort of still in this time of change from the pandemic where everything was online and then we all had to go online for everything and a lot of services dropped off. And I know it sounds so boring still talking about it 5 years on, but it has really obviously affected us all a lot.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of been a bit like, then everything went a bit crazy online and there's a lot online, and now people have been getting back into in person. One of the studies that we saw was that people they are really wanting in-person support at the moment, and I think that is makes sense to me with the fact that we have done so much online. We're probably a bit overwhelmed online. We say this as online business owners ourselves.
Yeah.
It has its place, but certainly
Definitely.
that sort of people want that in-person experience. And I think with the rise of AI, which is just exploding and is only going to carry on getting bigger at the moment, like that real person, that real person stuff is going to be more important than ever. Sorry. And I know that probably all of you listening, or most of you, do offer in-person services, and perhaps you sometimes think, oh, maybe I should move online or do something different. We'll cover that a bit more in a minute, but I just want you to know that in-person is still what people want, even though we can teach so many different ways and support so many different ways. People do want that in-person support.
Yeah, it makes sense though, doesn't it? Because in the birth and baby world, we are working with people at very vulnerable times of their lives, whether that's during their pregnancy or, in the immediate postnatal period, or as a first time parent, or, whatever stage of parenting that they're at. It's all very vulnerable, isn't it? And of course, that kind of one-to-one connection, that in-person energy is something that new parents or expectant parents want. So it all really makes sense, and it was something that people really missed during the pandemic. And now when you talk to parents who were pregnant or had their babies during lockdown, the one thing that they really miss was that like human contact and that support, and just helping them to navigate those different challenges, etc. So we can see why that is really important. And then the other trend, which is really reassuring, is that there is a real growing interest in holistic and wellness services, but also in what some people might term the kind of natural birth methods, and also eco-friendly baby methods, baby products as well. So there's that real approach to maybe it sort of feels like stripping things back to basics. There's all this technology around us, there's all these things that we can use to employ to make our lives easier, but actually maybe at the core of us as human beings, what we really want is what we were designed for, to kind of like step into our own intuition and our own birthing energy, if you like, and really learn about that. So people who are maybe running hypnobirthing classes, or breastfeeding support workshops, or classes or cafes, etc. You know, these are the things that people do want them. They are looking for them, and there is a shift towards that. So that is, you know, again, very reassuring. And I think things like baby massage, baby yoga would also come into that, because again, it's kind of like that hands-on, that touch, that those methods, those ideas that kind of come from the past, if you like, bringing them into the future. People very much still want them, rather than being very hands off with, you know, technology, etc.
Yeah, I think the statistic was that 65% of parents have gone to a breastfeeding or baby massage class. So they're really wanting that kind of contact, but also to know more about how they can connect with their baby. And I think there's, like, I've worked in attachment theory, and, you know, that's been my life's work, if you like, since right from when I became a pediatric nurse in my late teens. So I think, you know, for me, that's every day. But I think more and more that is the parenting trend. It's not a very nice word because I believe in it so much, but it is a bit of a trend that people are learning more about that connective parenting, about co-regulation. But I think more interestingly is that mistrust in allopathic medicine, in the sort of Western medicine, and or rather than mistrust, that questioning, especially, again, it's a post-pandemic thing, like, does the medical world really know more about me and my body and my baby than I do? And what comes into that is, again, stuff that we know back to front and inside out, which is that mind-body connection. I think now that is just becoming huge, and we know that most of our listeners teach or work in something to do with mind-body connection, or connecting with, helping parents to connect with their babies, that kind of wellness and positive sort of well-being approach. I think, you know, it's really exciting that parents now really recognise that, and that is becoming more the norm, because we've all got the tools to teach that. And I think there's definitely an appetite for that, where people are moving more away from the sort of medical model, if you like, of both birth and postnatal period as well. So the other trend that is showing up is that people are more interested in looking after their mental health. So they know that this is a key factor for the kind of experience that they have. So really looking after their own well-being, wellness. And again, I feel like I'm harping on about the same thing, but I do think this is the sort of stuff that, you know, really what changes the way that we think is something that we've been through. And again, it's like that with the pandemic, people, that's what we had. All we had was our well-being, really. And of course there was the health issues going on, but we almost felt a bit out of control with our physical health, because we didn't know if we were going to catch COVID. We didn't know if a family member was going to have be unwell with it, or, you know, that sort of stuff felt a little bit out of our control. But one thing that we could control and we look after was ourselves, and there was a huge drive around well-being, wasn't there? And I think people, again, are really starting to see how that mind-body connection really, you know, helps them. And we see this with I sort of watch on LinkedIn and things and see what trends are coming up in jobs. And I know that certainly in the UK and here in South Africa as well, there's so many teams, including the NHS now, they're really doing a lot of wellness, well-being, really focusing on that as a section of healthcare. So for those of us who are already focused on that side of teaching and support, we're a step ahead, because we've already, you know, we know this stuff and we already understand it, trained in it. So it's really worth knowing that this is what parents want. And so if you're not already talking in your marketing about people's well-being, about people's mental health, and about how the services that you offer help with that, then it's time that you added that in.
Yeah, definitely. Such a good point. You know, most of the things that we offer as birth and baby business owners really do promote wellness and support mental health. So absolutely shout about it. The one that we found really interesting was the technology and hybrid learning options. So parents, it's going to sound a little bit contradictory to what we were saying at the beginning, where people are looking for those in-person solutions. There are also parents that are looking for a hybrid offering. So they are looking for some digital support, and that is an education in particular. And that makes sense because we are in an age where, as Anna said, like the rise of AI is huge. There's an app for everything. It's so accessible to connect with people online. So it seems as if there is this growing trend towards creating this hybrid learning where people can access things online, but they can also have you in person. And this is actually how I have always done my training at the Calm Birth School, apart from over the pandemic where it was completely online. I always have 10 to 12 weeks where they're doing an online learning, and then we get together for 2 days and we connect in person and we sort of bring it all together. And that's always worked really, really well for me. And the feedback is always great that they like to have that flexibility to learn on their own, but also getting that distance support, and then to come together to kind of seal it all together works really, really well. So perhaps if you're thinking this year, like maybe I should shake things up, or you don't want to go completely online, but you want to try it, then why not do some maybe sort of video-based offering where people can learn in their own time flexibly, and then they can also come and connect with you in person, or it could be Zoom and in-person offering as well. But yeah, don't be afraid to play around with it, because the indicators are that kind of flexibility is something that parents are looking for as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm the same at the Mindful Breastfeeding School. I've always done a hybrid model. Well, not always, not to start with, but I moved, after about 2 years to a hybrid model. And how this might look, other than the things you already mentioned, it could be about having like a digital database of resources that people can check back in, because our brains are so full of stuff. We're not going to remember everything that we learn in a class. So having like a digital place where people can come and check their resources. It could be even just not having the classes, but having WhatsApp support in between. So having a way that they can contact you or contact the rest of the group, so that there's that sort of digital contact or that ongoing contact with you. That's not just seeing you once a week in class, which is how it always used to be traditionally. There was no kind of in between class times to sort of discuss and integrate. And like you said, it could be about doing certain kinds of models. So if you had like a main structure of teaching that you did in your in-person class, it could be that you had little extra modules, like, I don't know, I'm just thinking about birth here, but like say you could have like an online C-section cesarean birth module. You could have a little online for breastfeeding. You could have something for breastfeeding after cesarean section. I know I'm thinking about cesareans a lot now, but it could be anything. It could be tandem feeding, or it could be returning to work, something that you don't necessarily, it's not necessarily key content that you want to teach people in the class, but you want to give them like almost like a little portal or a little bonus that they can have digitally to really kind of back up what they've learned with you. That can be a really nice way of doing it, and it's so easy to do it now. I remember when I first started off with the Mindful Breastfeeding School back in 2016, 2017, I was building the parents course on Teachable because that was all that was available. And like now it's so easy to put together digital content for people. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. And so there's a lot you could do with that would really enhance and be a real selling point, and of something that would really change the experience of your clients.
Yeah, definitely. And don't worry about, creating content that's hours and hours long. Like, people want to the point information. So short, sharp, sweet videos are always appreciated by people as well. So yeah, I think that's definitely a good thing to try out, and to we'd love to know, how you get along with that. And then the next one we wanted to mention was
the groups. People still want groups. So although we know that one-to-one work can be great for us, we can give a real bespoke service and we can really meet the needs of our individual clients, and generally we charge more for those. So we don't want to throw those options away, but it comes back to our very first point. I think we've gone full circle here. People want that real connection, and they don't just want to hear as the professionals, they want to make those connections, build those relationships, make friends, and have other people they can kind of get to know and chat
It's that
with. So,
village. Yeah.
bringing those group elements into your services is so nurturing. And I know for my students who run breastfeeding groups and parenting groups, they get so much out of it themselves. It's the most nourishing time of the week. And even those of my students who run them for free, it's the favourite time of their week. They use it as a sort of freebie, if you like a way to build their audience and get themselves known in their community. They get a lot from it themselves, and the parents they work with, love it too. So it is a great way, isn't it, to teach people.
Yeah, definitely. And, there is that saying is that it takes a village. And if you can be part of helping your clients to build their own village during pregnancy or in the postnatal period, then that's amazing, because you're building them a support system for the rest of parenthood. So that's fantastic. Something that again, it's like we're bouncing around. It sounds like it's contradictory, because I'm now going to mention personalized and tailored services after groups. But this is why it's so important to do your ideal client work before you then start looking at trends and thinking about your offers. So it does seem that there is a continuing trend for the kind of bespoke and tailored offerings. And in fact, things like or services that doulas offer, for instance, it seems that that's going to grow steadily over the coming years, because it does seem that there's a growing demand for those kind of very personalized and tailored services in the antenatal and postnatal periods. But if you don't know who your ideal client is, who do you want to work with, who do you want to serve, what do you want to offer, then you can't do all of these things, because they won't appeal to the people that you want them to. So first of all, consider all of that kind of work, all of that ideal client work, and then look at the trends, and then look at your offers and see what you can get out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even when you're offering something in a group, you can still make it bespoke by speaking to the people who are coming along to your class or your group first and finding out what they want. Listen to your audience, do your market research. I know market research sounds so dull, but it's absolutely vital that you know what your people need and want. And even though you might have been your ideal client at one point, what you experience, that can still be your reason why and your purpose, but actually you really need to keep getting out there regularly to ask your ideal clients, what is it you need from me, what is it I can help you with? And it can be as simple as that, making your services bespoke so they're relevant to the people that you actually want to work with. So we wanted to kind of end this episode by sharing with you an event that we've got coming up, where you can work on all of this stuff, on thinking about where is my business going in 2025? What is my sense of direction? Who am I helping? How am I going to help them? How can I fit all of those pieces together to create this really, fresh feeling business model? And you don't have to be looking to completely change things up or pivot. It could just be to kind of just take a step back out of the day-to-day running of your business and just take that bird's eye view, have some time for yourself, be, treated, just treat yourself like the queen that you are, basically, and, have some nice time with like-minded people, including us. And that is Baba Live, that's coming up at the end of February. So I'll let Liz tell you some more details about that.
Yep, so that is our live in-person event. So we're very much looking to that trend of in-person support and connection. So we would love to get in a room with you live and just help you to become the CEO of your business. So it's on the 28th of February in Birmingham in the UK, and it'll be a whole day. It will be nourishing. It will be informative. It will be fun. You'll go away feeling fresh and ready to bring your business into 2025. And yeah, we can't wait to see you there. So if you take a look at the link below, it'll give you all the details. We have payment plans as well. And yeah, we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, and a VIP option, which means that a night before the event, you can come out and have dinner with Liz and I, just a very small group of us, and we can really help you, offering that even more bespoke experience to you, to really help you, like, to really understand your business in a lot more detail, and you get some lovely sort of VIP gifts and things. So that's that extra special experience. But we'd absolutely love to see you there. We're so excited about Bab Alive, and can't believe it's coming up next month. I'm so excited to be in a room with you again, Liz.
Yeah,
As well,
it's going to be great.
people. So yeah, we will see you next week.
Bye.